think I'm doing this right.
On the contrary, darling, you're doing it very well indeed.
But I can't seem to make you understand. I won't go home. And since I am going to be staying in New York, why doesn't it make sense for me to live with my mother?
It's simple. And it has nothing to do with all the wonderful things you obviously are. It's my problem. Specifically, it's what I'm not. Not equipped to be a mother, Kim. And that's no news. We've all known that for years.
But I don't want you to be my mother. I want to be your roommate. Apartment mate, anyway. This place is huge. 2 people can live here and see each other once a month. I promise I won't get in your way.
I really am impressed.
By what?
A daughter who knows what she wants and is determined to go after it. I like to think that's my little genetic gift to you.
Nana says I'm exactly like you. Of course, when she says it, she usually is mad at me, so I don't know if it's good or bad.
Well, I'll take it as a compliment.
You really mean that?
Of course I do. You are beautiful, intelligent, verbal, determined. You have a very charming sense of humor. In fact, if I were to imagine the ideal daughter, it would be you.
Then why can't I stay with you?
For all the reasons I have so carefully explained. I'm feeling rather inadequate in many areas of my life these days. I am not about to put myself in a situation where I'm predestined to fail. My schedule, my lifestyle are totally inappropriate for someone your age. You need structure, you need supervision, you need a lot of affection and attention. You need to graduate from high school, to choose a good college, preferably one on the East Coast where you can...
I need exactly what you needed when you were my age. I need to be an actress. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I know I can be because I love it. People tell me I'm good at it. And I need a little help to do what I want to do. Now, why is that too much to ask of you, Mother?
Mrs. Bolak?
Yes?
I'm Susan Litcher Collins, editor of White Book magazine. Oh, please, don't close the door in my face until you hear what I have to say.
Miss Collins, I think you should know that I am not interested in giving statements, and I'm not interested in listening to the press. Good night.
But, my dear, we're on your side. Anyone who knows Frank Ryan, and actually I know quite a lot about him, I think he is sensational. Did you see the profile we did on him last October?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wrote that article. Anyway, anyone who knows anything about him, well, they understand that he's been framed. And all this business about you, well, that is just too bizarre for words. I want to do a story supportive of both of you, because I think the national coverage has been shocking. That is an excellent example of just what we won't do. Now, may I talk to you for just 5 minutes? No longer, I promise. Absolutely off the record. He really does need all the help he can get, you know.
Come in.
Thank you so much. Oh, this is a charming apartment. This must be a real refuge for both of you.
Miss Collins, why don't you have a seat and tell me what you have in mind?
An in-depth story, sympathetic to you and Senator Ryan. This country is full of women who can sympathize with your problems and identify with them. And your behavior, Well, it's been an inspiration to all of us.
In what way?
Well, here you are, if I may say, trapped in a very conventional marriage to a brilliant but quite formidable man, in love with one of the most sensational young politicians this country has seen in years. And you have been in love for a very long time. Oh, but so many elements come in and conspire to keep you apart. And you find yourself torn between your feelings for Senator Ryan and your obligations to your husband, and managing a career, and recovering from the loss of a child. And then to find yourself accused of destroying his career, and to have to stand there and watch him pilloried in the press, tried and convicted. Well, it's enough to annihilate any lesser woman. And yet, you've come through it triumphant.
Well, I'm afraid that we haven't come through it yet. And as far as my state of mind is, it's certainly anything but triumphant.
Oh, nonsense. Look at you. Absolutely together, in charge, with a marvelous personal style. I think you're incredible.
You know, I'm afraid I still don't understand the kind of story you're proposing to do about Frank.
About Frank and you. We want to know your point of view, how you feel about the charges against him, and the evidence that you brought his career tumbling down because you want him out of politics. How he feels about that, and how you both hope to clear his name, and your plans for the future.
I see.
And of course, we'd want some background.
What kind of background?
Oh, colorful details, insights that make the story live. The kind of reality and intimacy that White Book is so famous for.
For instance?
Oh, how you and the senator first met, how you fell in love, your first date, your first kiss, your first night together, where, when, how long it's been going on, other people in your lives, all of that.
Sorry, Miss Collins.
Don't misunderstand, but it's that kind of detail that the readers want. If you want to get Frank Ryan's message across, you have to titillate the readers. White Book is not a quarterly review. No one is going to sit down for a raw dose of political philosophy.
I am not interested, if you don't mind.
Let me just make one point. Currently, our circulation is over 1.5 million young women of voting age. I control opinion among those women. They're immensely loyal to White Book. They are going to feel about Senator Ryan exactly as I tell them to feel.
And I would rather not speak to them, if you don't mind.
But I'm offering you a cover story with a considerable fee for the time you'd spend in interviews and photographic sessions.
Miss Collins, get out of here.
Obviously, you're a lot less together than I thought.
Now, please.
Well, I gather someone's on her way out.
This is Susan Litcher Collins of White Book.
Ah, yes, we've met. Susan did a profile of me last spring, was it? Yeah.
Well, I've just asked her to leave.
I offered Mrs. Bolak a cover story that would have had my readers absolutely melting in support of your situation, Senator. She wasn't interested.
Correction, I was outraged. What you offered me was a cheap piece of trashy exploitation. And you can take your 1.5 million readers and let them go and indulge in prurient values someplace else.
Senator?
Well, I would say that about covers it, wouldn't you, Miss Collins? Good night.
Oh, she is awful.
Yes, she is, actually. Even though she did that interview over Irish salmon and champagne and told me that I was the most devastatingly attractive political figure of the 20th century. But can't win them all. How long was she here?
Long enough to make me mad, but it's okay.
I'm not sure it is.
No, really. At least I had a chance to tell one of them what I think.
One of who? One of whom?
The thing is, I am not a cynical person.
Oh, no.
I'm realistic, I hope, but not cynical. I mean, I don't automatically expect people to assume the worst or enjoy somebody else's troubles or give a damn about somebody's private life. But that's what they do, Frank.
I know.
I am talking about good, honest people whom I see every day, who are my friends, or friendly presences anyway. Nurses in the hospital, storekeepers in Riverside, the doorman, the tenants in the building, the volunteers who were on your first campaign. Do you know that I ran into Joan Moranci on the street? She passed me by when she saw me. Then she turned by, looked back again with just the slightest nasty little smile on her face. She is a nice woman. She worked in your first campaign for city council until she almost dropped from exhaustion.
I know.
I guess these are the people that Susan Collins is talking about. Oh, they listen to your political philosophy and a defense of your point of view, as long as you just feed them a little gossip along the way. What about your first kiss, your first night together? Oh, God. If that's the price that you have to pay, then I am afraid that you're not going to have a defense, because I can't do that. I just can't.
I'm not asking you to. I couldn't. Come on.
Is it going to be all right?
It's going to be all right. All you have to do is hang in there a little while longer, and then it'll be over.
How? Look, if that's that woman again, I'm not answering the door.
We'll squirt ink at her through the peephole, okay? Come on.
It's Bob. Hi, come on in.
Look, I'm sorry to interrupt you guys, but Georgia said you...
Well, what's up? Even though I'm sort of afraid to ask that.
Well, it doesn't look so good, kiddo.
Let me have it.
Well, somebody way up at NLW Industries just released a new batch of memoranda. Lots that we don't know who's responsible. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Plus, New Hampshire was only the beginning, Frank. They had Ryan for vice presidential organizations set up and funded in every other part of the country.
Bobby, you're kidding.
No. I mean, somebody told me it cost about $100 million, you know, to NLW if Leclerc was on that commission.
Who else knows? Who else knows about this?
Well, they're going to issue wire releases tonight.
In other words, a deal was made, a very big deal in my name.
Right.
There's no way I can duck that. Oh, come on. Who is not going to believe that I didn't do that?
Your family. Jill. Me.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, Frank, if you think that we're being dumped by all the party members down in Washington, you wait till see what happens to us tomorrow morning.
The fact is, my darling, that having explained it all to you very carefully, I'm in no mood to prolong this interview. You're going back to Kansas, and you're going back tonight.
It's too late. There isn't a flight.
Kimberly, there's always a flight when you own your own plane.
Oh, wait, please. I understand why you didn't want me around when I was little. Honest, I do. I thought about it a lot, especially the last couple of years. I can imagine what I'd feel like now, wanting what I want, knowing I was going to have a baby. I'd be climbing the walls. I don't blame you for any of that. But this is different. I'm grown up. I won't be dependent on you, I promise you.
Oh, Kim.
You haven't let yourself think about having a daughter for so long that I panic you. But I don't have to be a daughter. I could just be your friend. The daughter of a friend or a cousin. You can explain me any way you want.
No.
You owe it to me.
I what?
Nana always says that eventually, sooner or later, you have to pay your debts. Well, you got off easy for 17 years. You wrote checks every month. You called a couple of times. You read the school reports, but that's about it. I bet you're feeling a little guilty about this whole business. Nana says you do. I would. So here's your chance to settle your debts, Mother. You do this for me now, and you don't ever have to feel guilty again.
That is the most outrageous piece of emotional blackmail I have ever heard in my life.
It's true, though, isn't it?
Kimberly, learn something about me. I don't trade in guilt. Now, I'm human. And periodically, my conscience may bother me. But I always work as hard as I can to smother it immediately. And I usually am pretty successful because, by and large, I don't do things that are going to make me feel guilty. I think things through. I decide, first of all, what's going to be best for me, and then, secondly, what will be best for the people I care about. And once having decided, I act. And if I was wrong, tough. I did my best. No recriminations. Now, when I found out I was pregnant, I could have had an abortion. But I chose not to. It would have been much easier for me. But I felt responsible to you, so I gave you life. And then I gave you the best mother I knew, my own. I've supplied you with money so that you have been fed and housed and clothed and educated. I have done my best for you, Kimberly. And don't you ever try again to lay a guilt trip on me. Understand?
All right, but you haven't thought this through. I told you that I've come to New York to be an actress and that I wanted to live with you, and you couldn't say no fast enough. You don't know whether it'd be the best for you or not, and you certainly don't know whether it's the best for me. You don't even know me. Let me stay tonight. Think about it. If you still say no tomorrow at this time, I won't argue.
You're incredible.
Why?
You don't give up, do you?
No, you can't.
Right on, my darling. I meant that about Hollywood. Might be the best solution. I could call the entertainment editor of our LA paper. Get a list of all the best coaches out there. Dance, drama, speech, voice. You should finish high school, but you could do that on your own time. And then you and Nana can take a house out there in all that glorious sunshine and vegetation. I'll come out and visit you for Christmas. What do you say?
I don't want to go to Hollywood. I want to be a serious actress. I want to study in New York.
New York is not an option for you at the moment. Miriam, I want the car in 10 minutes, please. Miss Harris is going out to the airport. And would you ring Tony for me? Thank you.
Please let me stay.
Tony, I'm sorry it's such short notice, but I'm going to be wanting the plane within the hour. What? We must have a very bad connection. No, I said within the hour. Tonight. Topeka, Kansas. Yes. Tony, don't you shout at me. I think I can hear you far better than you can hear me. All right, now the passenger's name is Kimberly Harris, and you can have the crew stay over in Kansas. I can't foresee any use for the plane tomorrow morning. That's right, no return passenger. Yes, she'll be at the airport in 45 minutes. Thank you so much, Tony. Bye. Well, at least I can guarantee you... Kimberly? Kimberly? Kim? Kimberly?
I thought you were asleep.
I was, but I missed you anyway.
Well, I like that.
What do you think?
About what?
Oh, tomorrow, the odds against you. What's going to happen next?
Well, I think I have an answer to that.
You want to share it?
I was going to do it tomorrow at breakfast.
No, tell me now.
Well, as far as I can see it, Jill, my effectiveness in the Senate has been pretty much destroyed. For the time being, anyway. Even if I could prove that I've been framed within the next week or so, And I don't see how I can do that. There's been so much speculation, so much bad press, that my word has been totally destroyed. I'd still be the senator in trouble, the senator living with the doctor's wife, the senator who let himself get set up.
Oh, I wish I could argue that.
You can, it's true.
It makes me sad.
The reality is, whoever wanted to get me, got me.
But who?
Well, it doesn't much matter at this point in the argument. Could have been Ray, could have been Seneca, or someone in the other party who wanted me out of politics. The fact is, I can't do a job as a United States Senator anymore. And that leaves me with one option.
To resign?
To resign.
I just wish there was some other way to get out of this.
Damned if I know what it is.
Frank, I'm so sorry.
I know. Me too.
Detective Flynn.
I'd like to report a missing person, a runaway.
All right, give me your name.
My name isn't important. Her name is Kimberly Harris. She's 17 years old, and she's never been in New York City before in her life. I don't know where she went. She left here this evening to go. Heaven knows where. She may have some money on her. I don't know how much, and I don't know where she's going next.
Give me your name and address and a description of the missing party.
She's 5'4". She has blue eyes and dark blonde hair.
Lady, I gotta know your name.
I'm her mother. Oh, dear God, what do I do next?